Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be seeing how many anime characters Gojo could be. And the first character on the list is Tanjiro. And like always, he always gets one shot. Tanjiro is pretty weak, he's like building level, and Gojo is much stronger than him. Up next is Light Yagami, and Gojo also one-shots him just because he's much more stronger and has way more hacks abilities. But if we give Light some prep time and, allow him to write Gojo's name in the Death Note, then he might have a 50-50 chance, depending if Gojo, doesn't revive himself. Next is Gon from Hunter x Hunter, and I do say he gets defeated, maybe one-shotted, but in terms of power, he's up there with Gojo, but in terms of hacks abilities, he doesn't really have that many hacks abilities. So if Gojo hits him with like a hollow purple and he doesn't dodge in time, then that would be a one-shot, but I'm just say he gets defeated. And the same thing could be said about Killua. Granted, Killua is more speed-based than Gon, but he still is going to get defeated by Gojo. Up next is Meruem, and I do think Meruem does lose. In terms of power, I do think he's on Gojo's level, but when it comes to hacks abilities, Meruem doesn't have that many hacks abilities, and Gojo is a hacks-based character. After Meruem comes Eren from Attack on Titan, and I do think he does lose, right? Granted, he does have like 1,000,000 colossal titans, so Gojo's not going to be able to one-shot him unless, I guess, if he targets Eren himself, then he might be able to one-shot him. But let's say, the colossal titans are protecting him. It'll take Gojo about a week to eliminate all of them, so it's not really a one-shot. Up next is Mob from Mob Psycho, and I say it's a 50-50 chance. Mob does have way more hacks abilities than everyone else on this list, and I do think he could possibly bypass Gojo's Limitless because he has psychic abilities which could just affect the person without traveling space. So I say it's a 50-50 chance because Mob is pretty powerful. Actually, it might be Gojo's first loss, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's Gojo's first loss. Up next is Deku from My Hero Academia, and I do think he is way stronger and way faster than Gojo, but in terms of hacks abilities, he just doesn't have that many hacks abilities that could possibly bypass Limitless. So that's why I'm going to say he gets defeated, but it will be a very difficult fight for Gojo. And the same thing would apply for All Might, but even to a lesser extent, because All Might, he really just a brawler, he just punches, he doesn't have any hacks abilities. And when you're talking about Gojo, he has Limitless, which is basically blocking all physical attacks. So unless All Might somehow gets like a hacks ability, I don't see no way he could bypass Limitless or defeat Gojo. Next up is Shigaraki, and I do think Shigaraki has the potential to actually beat Gojo. And I know you guys are going to be saying, how does Shigaraki have the potential to beat Gojo when he lost to Deku and All Might is, up here? It's because Shigaraki has way more hacks abilities than these two. In terms of being able to bypass Limitless and to get around Gojo's abilities, Shigaraki has way more hacks abilities himself that could actually affect Gojo. He has his decay ability and he has other spatial distortion abilities. So that's why I'm putting him over here while these two are up here. And the same thing would apply to Star and Stripe. I do think Star and Stripe has not only the power but the hacks ability to actually hit and defeat Gojo. Her quirk New Order is incredibly broken, and she could even possibly change how Gojo's Limitless works. Up next is Asta from Black Clover, and he is way stronger and way faster than Gojo by a lot, but I don't know if he could actually bypass Limitless just yet. I do know, he could cancel out magic, but this is technically not magic, so I'm going to just put him at 50-50 chance. If he could bypass Gojo's Limitless, then it will be an easy win. If he can't, then it'll be a much difficult battle. Up next is Law from One Piece, and I don't think Gojo even has a chance. Law has a very broken ability with his Opi Opi no Mi Devil Fruit, which is basically him creating a room in space, and he can basically do anything he wants in that room. He could switch souls, he could cut people up without even touch them, and in terms of power and speed, Law is just way faster and way stronger than him. Up next is Monkey D. Luffy, and Gojo also doesn't stand a chance against Luffy. So, the way Gojo's abilities work is him controlling space on a subatomic level, and Monkey D. Luffy has Conqueror's Haki Infusion, which is basically affecting the spirit or soul of somebody, and he doesn't even have to touch his enemies to affect them. If you guys believe regular Conqueror's Haki could bypass Gojo's Limitless, then you also have to believe Conqueror's Haki Infusion could do the same. After Luffy comes Blackbeard, and Gojo also doesn't have a chance against Blackbeard. Blackbeard not only has 2 Devil Fruits, but they are 2 broken Devil Fruits that could probably bypass Limitless, especially his Black Hole ability and his Darkness power. That's basically him controlling space, and his Darkness also has a different dimension inside of it. And when you talk about his Quake Devil Fruit, it's just him sending out vibrations, which could possibly bypass Gojo's Limitless, since they are, subatomic, but I'm not going to say that 100% sure. But his Darkness Devil Fruit possibly, most definitely could bypass Gojo's Limitless. After Blackbeard comes Shanks, and Shanks is just a better version of Luffy when it comes to Conqueror's Haki, which could possibly bypass Gojo's Limitless, and in terms of power and speed, Shanks is just way stronger and way faster. Next in line is Sasuke from Naruto, and Gojo doesn't stand a chance against him. Sasuke has so many hacks abilities, and he could affect Limbo clones, which are in a different dimension / space. And in terms of power, Sasuke could literally throw out several dozen nukes at once and not even be phased. And in terms of speed, he could move like at light speed plus. So it's not even, a fair comparison. Now, the same thing would apply to Naruto. He has the truth-seeking orbs, which could basically erase anything. And he could create clones out of thin air, basically anywhere he wants. So he could possibly even bypass Limitless via that way. And in terms of power, he could shoot out nukes that are affecting entire continents. So Gojo doesn't even really stand a chance. After Naruto comes Obito, and he can literally distort space with ease, and he could fight on par with Naruto and Sasuke in their final forms. Up next is Madara, and Madara absolutely destroys Gojo. He not only has the truth-seeking orbs, but he has other hacks abilities, and in terms of power, he could shoot out nukes. So it's not even a fair comparison. Up next is Kaguya, and she could definitely one-shot Gojo. Not only can she control space, but she could create other dimensions and control those entire dimensions. So it's not even a fair fight. Up next is Ichigo from Bleach, and I know a lot of people are going to be mad about this, but I'm going to put him 50-50 chance just because I don't know 100% how he is actually going to bypass Gojo's Limitless. Maybe he has enough spiritual energy to just crush Gojo. So maybe that, But for now, I'm just put him 50-50 chance. Next is Aizen from Bleach, and Gojo definitely doesn't have a chance to defeat him. Just one look at his sword, and Gojo is in permanent hypnosis. So that's a one-hit KO. He gets one-shotted. And the same thing could be said about Yuha Bach. He definitely one-shots Gojo. He's just way stronger than him, and his ability is just very broken. Up next is Toriko from Toriko, and he is way stronger than Gojo, that's for sure. He could affect entire planets, but I'm not too sure how he's gonna bypass Gojo's Limitless. It's been a long while since I even read Toriko, so I'm not too sure. If you guys could remind me if he has any abilities that could possibly bypass it. If not, I'm gonna just put him 50-50 chance, just because I don't think Gojo could actually defeat him, just because he's way stronger than Gojo himself. Next is Lord Boros, and the same thing could be said about Lord Boros. Yes, he is way stronger than Gojo, and he could possibly even destroy the planet, and he's moving at light speed plus, but I just don't see any way of him bypassing Gojo's Limitless, so I'm gonna just say 50-50 chance, just because I don't actually see Gojo defeating Boros, but I also don't see Boros defeating Gojo. Okay, now comes the big guns on this list. All of these characters could bypass Limitless and could one-shot Gojo with no effort. Blast, he could basically teleport and make portals anywhere. Garou, in his final form, could basically control space, and it's just broken as hell. Yeah, he gets one-shotted. Saitama, one punch, one sneeze, one fart, kick away portals like it's nothing. He basically affects space. Vegeta, oh my god. Dragon Ball characters could distort space and basically destroy entire dimensions. So I don't know why a lot of Gojo fans are even trying to put Gojo against Goku. It makes no sense. Jiren, he one-shots you. Goku, he one-shots. Broly, he destroys. Spyro, oh my god, absolutely massacred. Simeon, oh my goodness, he's like, it's not even a chance. It's not even a chance, alright? But that's all for this video, guys. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. And I'm out of here. Peace.